Right. First on the list for today, we have. I need a shave. Okay, first up on the list for today, we have healthcare. And Speaker of the House Paul Ryan efforts and other GOP efforts to repeal Obamacare, because God knows we can't have a healthcare bill that is in any way tied to Barack Obama under a Republican-controlled government. It just can't happen. I mean, obviously. It's un-American. Or, I don't know, insert bullshit excuse here. Like, it might as well be it's un-American, because, I mean, it makes about as much sense as everything else I got. As far as every other excuse. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. Now, because, see, this is something it's really, really pissed me off over the past couple months. And, a bit before, but it's ramped up as it has, nationwide. The whole issue of Obamacare and GOP's efforts to repeal it. But, and now they've finally officially moved to, okay, we're going to repeal and replace it with, their version. Which, anyway, here's the thing. The GOP has had 7 years to come up with a replacement. And over those 7 years, they have attempted to repeal Obamacare over 50 times, evidently with no replacement. So let's make sure not to forget that little point right off the bat. Okay, let's get that one straight. That for over 7 years and over 50 attempts to repeal the Affordable Care Act, and to this day, they still do not have a replacement. So everyone living in states controlled by Republican representatives and congressmen, remember that. That for the past 7 years, your representatives and senators have been trying to remove your health care and get rid of it with nothing to replace it with. And you could say, oh, well, it was symbolic because Obama wouldn't have allowed it to be repealed anyway, so yada yada. Okay, well, in that case, why were they wasting time then? If you can't really have it both ways in this situation. Either the Republicans have been trying to remove to kick people off of voting, working Americans, the people who voted for them to represent them. Either for the past 7 years they've been trying and working their damnedest to kick them off their insurance with nothing to take its place, or they spent the last 7 years with their friggin' thumb up their ass, wasting time and again and again and again, trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act when they know it's not going to be repealed, and when they could and should be doing other things. No, they spend their time doing this. Basically, obstruction for obstruction's sake. So which is it? Are they screwing around and not doing their job for the past 7 years? Or are they trying to kick people off health? Or are they just trying to boot people off healthcare and not do anything to replace it? But anyway, continuing on, they of course are facing building opposition because, how about that? People don't like the idea of having their healthcare removed. Because, living is totally awesome. So they're facing opposition with that. They've got, various other problems. This spineless little putz, in addition with a number of other GOP lawmakers, are canceling town halls. By the way, he can still meet meet with his donors. Just can't seem to find time to meet with his constituents. Lets you know where his priorities are, doesn't it? So they're canceling their town halls. They're not meeting with constituents. They're still trying to, after meeting fierce opposition from their voters, people coming out in droves saying, we don't want you to do this. And they're still trying to cram it through. Again, makes you wonder whose interests they're actually looking out for, because it ain't yours and it ain't mine. So they've been facing that issue, but not to be deterred by, the will of the people. They've pressed on to the point now that Speaker of the House, God, this fucking guy, I can't even come up with a little witty, snappy little thing input, blah. Insult or put down. I just can't. I look at his face and I'm just like, oh God, I fucking hate you. But anyway, this guy has announced that basically the GOP or the House of Representatives is going to be attempting to cram through a replacement for Obamacare by the end of this month. That would be March 2017. They're going to try to cram through completely overhaul our healthcare system and get it crammed through and voted through in a month. Gee, what could possibly go wrong from, taking something? I mean, it's like, okay, they're already on record as admitting, hey, it turns out this whole health insurance thing is complicated. Oh, but never mind that. We're going to plunge ahead and get this knocked out in a couple weeks. Like, seriously? But anyway, they're also doing some other things that I find a bit concerning. Like, for instance, they won't share with the class. We've had a couple of leaked documents come out about what their plans are, a couple of first drafts, things like that. But the bill in its entirety, they are seriously keeping it under lock and key so that only certain people in the House of Representatives, only certain Republicans get to actually look at it. So here we are, less than a month away from when they want this thing passed, and no one's even seen it. Rand Paul actually went down there, made a thing. It didn't work out, but basically physically went down there to the room in the building where they're supposed to be keeping this ultra secret law that's going to be affecting every American, to demand a copy of it. And they're like, oh no, fuck off. It's our secret plan. It's our secret club. You can't come in. And that is just, it's fucking insanity. I mean, seriously. This is and these people have done this, have gotten so brazen with this that, all right, the majority of people, polls are showing the majority of people want to keep or do not want Obamacare to be repealed. And that's not the whole thing where, when they call it the Affordable Care Act, more people like it. No. Obamacare. Majority of Americans don't want it to go away. And they're still trying to cram it through. They're not to the point, and it's there's so many issues within their own fucking party on this healthcare legislation that they're not even sharing it. Less than a month away from expecting it to be voted on, and no one except for him, Ryan, and a few of his their little circle even know what all's in it. And it just amazes me, really the complexities of healthcare in this country and healthcare law and insurance and anything like that. And oh, don't worry. Yeah, sure, we've been basically sitting on our ass not doing anything about this for 7 years, but we'll get it done. We'll get it out in a month and it'll be good. Seriously? Come on. Anyone here who's actually, been through fucking high school, who's let that report that they need to get done sit until, couple hours before the deadline knows. Like, you're not going to be pulling out some like awesome, Pulitzer Prize winning shit in 4 hours. Just like this. You ain't getting a good comprehensive reform bill of our healthcare system in less than a month of actual, like, heads together powwowing about it. It's not going to happen. I mean, shit, like, you can't even get, in a lot of situations, you can't even get a fucking CT scan out of an insurance company in less than a month. And they're going to rewrite our healthcare system legislation. God help us.